Hey, welcome back to the Jason Ellis Show. It's Monday. Telly, as I said earlier, dying. Maybe never back again. We're all dying, so suck a butt. Speaking of dying, we have a guest who speaks to dead people, right?
That's a nice segue there.
Well, I'm a professional who is always amateur. Here he comes.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
Bill Phillips. Chuck those headphones on.
Yes.
Busy guy today.
Yes.
Doing, you're on the Jude Show?
I was. Yes.
And apparently, oh yeah, you just laugh immediately when I say the Jude Show. He's a very funny man, isn't he?
Yeah, it was good.
So you are a man. As all I know is that you are a psychic, and you can speak to dead people. Is all I need to know.
Okay.
I recently, I would say recently, because only one time has it ever happened to me where I would say I was trapped and bombarded by three people. It's because of my friend. I went did a podcast and I got a reading, and
Oh, cool.
it was pretty scary, pretty emotional.
Yeah.
My friend Will here, completely skeptic.
Okay.
But apparently you guessed a lot as to what Jude is like or something. I don't understand how. I mean, it's
See,
pretty.
Were
you
you
used the
able-
word guest. You used that word guest. So I think you're also skeptical.
I think it's important to be skeptical. Like I had told him earlier, it's you want to make sure that you're getting a genuine connection.
Yeah.
But the way that intuition works, I think that sometimes pop culture sensationalizes it a lot, where you expect to have someone who's seeing these headless bodies walking around. That's just not how it works.
You get like little.
It's like playing charades with an energy that has no body anymore. So that's basically how the connections
I mean,
work.
and you can do it. You can like take a phone call and talk and help them on the phone
I can,
from
yeah.
not even in the same state.
Absolutely.
Cause-
In fact, most of my clients are not local. They're all over the place.
Because the person that was talking to me, I was talking to one person that was in the room, another person that was on Skype from fucking Australia, and was like, "Mate, you know what I mean? You know, this girl was telling me how, mate, you know what I mean? I know about some shit in my," and I'm like, "You're on Skype, you know what I mean?" And then some other person on the phone. I'm like, "Okay." For all you guys, and at the time, I believed it. Me and my wife were emotional about it, and then after, I was like, "Well, I'm easy to. You can just Google me, so you can just find out about me."
Yeah, that's I've read for a lot of celebrities, and that's always the biggest thing is like, well, so and so could have known that, But usually, if I have a full session with them, there's always things that are not available on Google that prove to them that it's legitimate.
So, like, you're obviously, you know, what I mean, you've got a lot of people that speak highly of you that are creditable people that, in their own right,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, what I mean, lots of people are skeptical of all this kinds of stuff. Like, how do you?
I try my best to educate people about it because I feel like I understand why there's that stigma about it, especially, being here and going down and seeing in every corner like a psychic shop or like
Right, because
something like
so
that,
you are aware that a lot of people that do it are full of shit.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And you've had this
Yeah.
talent since you're a child, I would guess.
I was 14 and I had more of a tragic story. So my mom passed away when I was 14. I hadn't seen her in almost 6 years. She actually kidnapped me when I was 6 years old and took me to New York, and she had her own drug and alcohol addiction. So
Oh.
I was taken back to California when I was 9, and I saw her when I was 14, almost 15, on her deathbed that night, and she died that same night. So I was devastated. I was her only child. It was a horrible experience.
Right.
But 2 nights later, I woke up to her in the room, and I thought I was going crazy.
You woke up to her in the room as a piece, or like an actual your mum.
My mom.
Like, so
But-
this was a different connection entirely.
Absolutely. It was not, she was not suffering anymore. She was glowing. She looked beautiful. It was not like it wasn't how she looked when she was suffering in life, which was comforting for me. So
And you see that at 14, and you have a conversation with her.
I heard her talk to me.
She said some stuff to you?
There was not a conversation. It was a one-ended conversation.
And then from then on, you were able to talk to other people and talk to their relatives, or how's that work?
Then a couple of weeks later, I did find myself in a strip mall in Orange County, And there's a psychic shop there, and this woman obviously had some kind of ability because she walked out and she told me that I had this amazing gift and that it would be 3 years until I understood what she was talking about. I thought she was crazy. So 3 years later, I found myself going to a metaphysical shop because I was so curious about what I had been experiencing after she had passed. And I was basically put to the test with it. And so I was sat down with a complete stranger. I held her hand. And within a few minutes, probably 5 minutes or so, I was able to connect her with someone who had passed away that was very close in her life. So what I had told her was that I sensed a female energy. I saw blonde hair. I saw a J initial, which might sound kind of vague, but then after that, I saw in my mind prescription pills overflowing a table. So I explained to her what I was experiencing. And at that point, a teacher walked by and said, "Well, how would you interpret this?" Because going into it, I didn't know. Well, what does it mean? And I said, "Well, overflow, overdose." And the woman broke down in tears and had told me that her best friend Julie had committed suicide of a drug overdose, and she was blonde. So that was my first experience ever being put to the test with it.
You're saying you were shown a J.
Mm-hmm.
You saw a letter J.
I did.
Do you ever receive a straight up name?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So sometimes it's less of a charade for you. Sometimes it's like, hey, I'm fucking Jim's brother, and tell Jim.
Yes.
And you're like, he just said straight out this, and
Absolutely.
that, and Jim goes, whoa, and that's the end of it.
Absolutely.
Sometimes a little bit more difficult.
Every spirit has their own way of communicating, and just so you guys know, what they're doing is they're tapping into my database. So it's not like they're actually like, "Hey, Bill, it's so and so. Tell them this and that." It's like
because when I die, it's not. Right. It's over, right? There's
no, it's not over. Are you kidding me? No, it's not over. It is not over.
Well, what? That I'm waiting for you, so I can tell somebody's alive that, like, don't give up. You're doing great down there.
Absolutely, and to also
that's what I get. That's what I get after this is to float around waiting to tell my son that he did great in fucking basketball or something. Like, fuck that.
Well, here's the thing. This is how they show us through these little validations that they're around us. But if you really think about it, they've crossed over. They're in a really good space. There's no emotional baggage hanging from them because when we die, we leave behind our physical shell, and within that physical shell is the anger, the fear, the resentment, all of those elements that we don't take with us when we die. And so that's what I'm trying to say, like, education is really important with this, because if you think that you're going to be depressed when you die and you're going to be, taking all this with you, then of course it doesn't sound that enticing. But when we really know the spiritual truth of it, which is that when we do go back home, we're in a beautiful space, that really does show us that there's something more to look forward to when we do cross over.
So if you're having a shit life, you would advise that you kill yourself?
No. Not at all. No.
Okay.
And I've
what?
No.
I mean, he just said like all the worries. Not because I was gonna say to Bill, what if I'm really good looking and I've got a lot of money and I'm in my prime and I die? Am I not fucking angry? Because there was no reason. I didn't have any bad times. There wasn't any drag, emotion, pressure. I was on fire. So I don't want to go to the spirit world where I can give you a pat on the back. I want to go back to my.
And actually, not so. When we die, we are living our own lives over there. We're not always available, by our people every second of the day, because that's
what are we doing?
Reality. We're doing what we love to do in life that we were not able to do because of our.
Can I fuck in the spirit world?
Energy can be exchanged. Yes.
I can fuck other spirits.
Energy can be exchanged. So again,
sound like a lot of mind fucking. I mind fuck a couple. I gotta go. I'm not gonna lie, Bill. Occasionally, I do like to just fuck without using my mind.
Well,
sounds like it's gonna be tough in the spirit world.
A lot of people are like that, actually, so I wouldn't feel bad about it. But so what was I gonna say? I don't know where I was going.
You were saying people aren't always available,
right,
to come to you.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of the time, what happens is that. Just like you can call up someone, and have a conversation, we can always put the request out through our intention to have that question be answered.
You ever try to talk to Elvis, like when you're like stoned on the couch with your friends?
No.
You've never tried to talk to Elvis, and you have this gift.
I have not ever tried to talk to Elvis.
Well, you're not an Elvis fan. What about? Is there somebody that you are a fan of that you'd want to talk to that died? Within my field, this is how this works. They're usually,
Elvis was not my friend in life.
Yeah.
Right? He wasn't part of my family.
Okay.
So he really wouldn't have any reason to come around me, you know, and tell me that he was okay.
But what about if you were with Priscilla Presley?
Then yes.
Okay,
Absolutely.
gotcha.
Otherwise,
Have you ever
he's just
asked?
sending you straight to voicemail?
Have you ever reached out to Priscilla so that you can talk to Elvis?
I have not reached out to Priscilla,
Right.
but I have read for a lot of people that are publicly noted that in which their people did come through with a lot of healing information and validation. So,
What's your view of the afterworld or whatever?
my view of it?
Yeah, like just from, working as a psychic medium, has that painted a clearer picture of what the afterworld is, or it kind of just spirits floating around Earth, heaven and hell, purgatory?
It's helped me understand that it's not as scary as I thought it was going to be when I was a child. Because as a child, when I was in bed, I would see faces floating around me, not sure what to make of it, you know. But there is a dark side as well as there is a light side. So I connect with the light side. But I like to give analogies to a few different things. Have you guys ever seen The Lovely Bones before with the girl that's murdered and she helps her family find her murderer? Do you ever see that movie?
I haven't.
That is a good, or also Hereafter with Matt Damon as well, which actually profiles a medium and his whole experience, is a really great reference for that. And then there's Robin Williams' What Dreams May Come, another great way to sort of an analogy for that in that sense. But from what I've experienced from the numerous people that I've been able to channel is that not only are they with their soul groups over there, they're with their soul families, they're with people that, even if they weren't their blood family, like a soulmate or a dear friend who was like a sibling to them, they are existing with them in their own world over there. And they also have been, in some sense, sent back to help the living make informed decisions spiritually. But a lot of the time, though, what happens is that we are with our head in the clouds, so we're not really taking the time to slow down to pick up on them being around us. When that light kind of flashes for no reason, or when you find a feather on your car seat when you open the door, it's like they're trying to leave the signs there. And
who the fuck has a feather on their car seat? Who that? Call in right now if that's happened to you.
I'm telling you, and usually it happens when they see that you're grieving, or when they see that they need to give you something, and it's usually when you have some kind of awakening with
They're not watching your bone though, are they?
No.
Okay.
What about bad news? So you said people come forward with healing stuff. What about bad news? Like, hey, you got to go to the doctor because you've got cancer or whatever. I mean, is there anything like any bad messages?
There is. I mean, I'm not sure if you heard a little bit of what happened in there with...
Does Jude got cancer?
No.
That's what you found.
But something did come through. It was just like, don't worry, they're watching over this person, brought up something very personal that he was able to validate. So
his ass is disgusting.
So no, I tend to say that, I don't like to fluff things when it does come through. But
sometimes you can get bad news from you.
Yeah, but I try my best to deliver it in a loving way, so I'm not putting fear into somebody.
Yeah.
I really feel like we have the ability.
You're gonna die soon, but you're super cute.
I might say, be careful on the way to work today, type of a thing like that.
Wow.
But
don't say that.
You're gonna get paranoid.
I know.
And I learned this when I was 18 and really kind of just, testing myself with this. I had no filter with it, and I learned to have sort of a filter and some boundaries so I didn't scare people. So I remember, I remember one time I told this woman, I said, I feel like your husband's going to have a heart attack. And I said August 14th. And anyways, long story short, it was a week later. And so she's like, well, you said August 14th, so you were wrong about that. And so...
Did he die?
No, he did not die. He did not die. But anyway, so that's but after that happened, though, I kind of had to work with myself, work with spirit, and be able to...
So how do you tell people they're going to have a heart attack now?
I might say to them, you might want to go to the doctor, you might want to get your heart checked, but and I also say things, like...
Man, we got ourselves a game now. Cool Beans just immediately shit himself. All you were worried about was he was going to pull out the ghost of Christmas ass. No, dude. He's going to tell you got AIDS in your butt or something.
Oh my gosh.
No, he just lives in a paranoid world. Like as soon as you said that, he was like, great. Bill's gonna tell me I've got like 3 days to live. Like, calm down.
I get a lot of health
I'm
stuff
sure we'll
that's
be
not
fine.
like terminal. It just sucks.
Stop telling
and it's
him.
also funny.
Stop.
Okay, all right, well.
You're feeding him. You're giving him stuff.
It's okay. It's okay. Well, and I'm also I believe, it's my belief system, that we are creating our lives, creating our bodies by the thoughts that we're producing in our heads. You know, so it may seem far out there, but I've seen numerous accounts of this being validated. So if you think something over and over again, or if you feel like if you always tell yourself that you're not healthy, you are gonna manifest that in some regard. It's part of life,
crap.
you know.
Even though Greg Fitzsimmons just said that that's scientifically is proven to not work, but Greg Fitzsimmons is full of shit. It's true. You can mentally fuck yourself, and you can mentally rise above, all by the power of the will inside your mind.
Do you believe that? Is that something? Yeah. I mean, it's something that I've wholeheartedly believe.
Yeah, I'm an illiterate moron who's like a millionaire. You know why? Because I'm absolutely positive that I'm brilliant and that I can do this.
And it's just a fact.
And that frequency does attract those experiences too.
It's just a fact because of the placebo effect.
Right.
You know,
Right.
somebody you can get a fake pill to relieve the pain.
Oh, yeah.
It'll actually relieve the pain.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, enough of the chit chat, Bill. I want you to tell me how many days Kevin has to live.
Oh my God.
But first, is there anybody in here? Do you sense anybody that is hovering over any of us?
Okay.
I was going to ask him if he talks to cats, because Betsy's got a couple of them. So do I.
So I am feeling female woman. I do feel like this would have been a mother energy, but she passed like not at a super old age, so she would have been sort of like before her time in a sense. And again, I'm just gonna say what I'm getting, and let's see where it connects or where the dots connect. But I do feel that, and I also for some reason I'm being shown St. Patrick's Day, so I want to talk about Irish, the name Patrick or Pat, something connected with four-leaf clover. I'm not sure what that means right now, but I am seeing that. And I do feel that she had something that would have affected her on a throat level, like either a tube in her throat, something along those lines. And I also get something with her mind, like her head, like she wasn't clear, she couldn't communicate, something along those lines. So that's what I'm sensing right now in the room. So does anyone have any connection to that at all? No.
It's Andrew, isn't it?
Okay.
It's not? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I get it.
Well, that's okay. So that's it. And sorry, what is your name again?
Kevin.
Kevin. And what is your name?
Will.
Will. Okay.
I wonder if that person was for Tully.
He's super Irish.
Is he here right now or
No.
Okay.
He's dead.
Oh. Okay.
Maybe it's Tully talking to us about how great the show's
Oh my
going.
gosh.
He's homesick with the food.
He's not dead. He's
No,
okay.
he's not dead.
Oh my
But you
God.
would have known that, right?
I don't know, honestly, because I don't know
I'm
everything. But sure. Right. Mm-hmm. What I say is, I say this all the time, I say keep it with you, because if somebody has a need to hear from, let's say, a child, a sibling, someone with a very strong emotional need, when I open the door, it could be someone else that starts the communication and then brings that person in. So, for example, it could be that, and I don't know who it is here, but someone has that connection, but maybe it was, an aunt that passed away before her time, or a mother energy like that. And then once I connect with the person who that's for, then more information will come through as a result of that.
Did you tell that lady that we're not interested in her information? And we need somebody else?
Nice.
No, that's not, no. And again, for me, I have just sort of come to the conclusion that I have to trust everything that they're showing to me, because at some point it does connect. And I actually wrote a book about this, because people that had left, they had a great experience, but there was a few things that they were like, I don't know what he's talking about.
Right.
And then those pieces of information are what led to these really incredible discoveries that took place like weeks later, months later, days later. So there is no time there, and that's the only kind of caveat to this, is that I am working with spirits that don't have sense of clock or time. Doesn't exist.
Well, don't give up, Bill. I need you to freak us out.
My gosh. Oh my gosh.
Put the pressure on.
Hey.
Okay, so
Take your time. Hey, if he doesn't talk and we don't make any sound, do they take us off the air? All right, just know if I talk, can I talk quietly, Bill, while you talk to the spirits?
Sure.
Because silence is bad for radio. I'm sure you can understand. So anyway, I'm gonna reach out and tell to some people. I can see that Kevin is incredibly frightened. I mean, you didn't murder anyone, did you, Kevin?
Okay.
No.
Well, you should be okay then.
I'm just worried about finding out I have like butt cancer or something.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you don't even use your butt.
Okay, so is it Will or Bill?
Will.
Bill, okay. I do feel a father energy around you. So have you lost a father figure? Is there a grandfather, dad's dad that has passed for you?
Yeah, grandfather.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And is there any connection to the name being passed down?
Yes.
Okay, because I want you to know that what they're showing me is I'm William III, and they keep showing me that right now. So there's a connection to wanting me to validate that with you on some level.
Okay.
Does that make any sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. And I also feel a connection with this person having a lot of regrets around the events, the timing or the end of his life type of a feeling with this. Is there a lot of miscommunications or a lot of turmoil on dad's side of the family, like unresolved stuff?
No.
Okay, and do you know if you were to ask maybe around if there would have been talks about like, I don't know, affairs or illegitimate, like stuff that would have been kind of not PG, but sort of dramatic, like people having addictions in the family, things like that?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so I'm going to start there, okay? And I also feel, do you know if linked to your dad's family that there would be a Michael connected over there as well?
Not that I know of.
Okay, so this is where I'll say, write this down, keep this with you, okay? I do feel that with, and I do feel I have two different men connected that are linked to your dad's side. So I feel like one of them would be a grandfather, and one of them would be like an uncle or someone that would be a little bit below, like a child, like a son figure to the grandfather. So do you know if there would be someone else that passed, like a father, uncle, basically his son-in-law, something along those lines?
Yes.
Okay. So he wants me to come in and say that this person is cleared, healthy, happy, something with the chest being cleared and open. That comes in very strongly. Do you know if that person was not able to have like closure around his passing?
Yes.
Okay, is that true?
Yes.
Okay. So that, and also I just 13. Is there any connection to a 13th anywhere? Do you know?
Not that I know of.
Or the 13th of a month connection? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay, well that's what I'm picking up on. So let me keep. Is this making sense to you at all? Is it having any connection to you?
Yeah, but
okay.
Yes.
Okay. It is. With the son figure. So is this an uncle to you or dad to you?
That would be an uncle.
Okay. I just get like a 1, 2, 3 type of a feeling, and I'm gone. I feel something connected with oh my gosh, something to do with head, mind, clarity, something along those lines. Do you know if there was any connection with him not having a chance to either say goodbye or something in which this was not like over a long period of time?
Correct.
Okay. So that comes in, and in some level, there's some level of responsibility that he takes with this as well. So that does come in. So I do hear like an I'm sorry connected to it, and I feel like I'm supposed to extend that for some reason to the family or something along those lines. Does that have any connection to you?
Sure.
Okay. Also, whenever they show me a bottle of Jack, they're just trying to talk about addiction. Could be drinking addiction, something along those lines. Is there any connection with him or with the family that would have had the addiction, like the significant addiction rather?
Possibly.
Okay. Do you know if that was with him or not? Did he have any issue with like drinking when he was?
Is your granddad
there?
a drunk?
No. No, it wasn't drinking. It would be smoking.
Okay,
Pedophile.
That's fine. So how this works for me, it's symbology.
Right.
So whenever they show that to me, it means that some kind of addiction would have caused or been somehow connected with them in life or with their passing.
Gotcha.
Okay. They just showed me a truck right now as well. Do you know if there's any connection to somebody, I don't know, working with trucks, having the truck, passing down the truck, any kind of connection with like the truck being a staple of this uncle possibly, or with that side of the family?
Monster trucks, maybe?
Yeah, somewhat.
What does that mean? What does the truck mean to you, rather?
I can't tell you without telling you a whole
okay.
bunch.
That's okay. That's okay. But, so I'm just gonna leave that alone. But if you can understand that part right
Likes
now,
to drink,
I'm gonna
drive his truck, and
extend
date women.
that to you. I also want to talk about this this father figure to you, the uncle figure.
Mm-hmm.
I do sense is like a father figure to you for some reason. So I don't know. Did you know him in life?
No.
Okay, he's guiding you like a father. I want you to know that. And I do also feel, let me see here. There's like a there's an L name as well that I want to talk about as well, linked to the family. So do you know who like the Linda is or Linny is? Someone that has a kind of LN name?
Lenny Kravitz.
Yes,
no.
I do. Yeah.
Do you know who that is?
I'm assuming.
Okay, is the name Linda, Linny, something along those lines?
It's around that area.
What area is it?
Well, I'm answering
All
the
right.
questions.
Well, I need a validation. So is it what is the name?
It's Lilla.
Okay, that's
Ooh.
so I want you to know that in my mind, how I hear things is phonetically.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm hearing, basically, if that makes any sense to you. Okay.
Okay.
And is there any connection to a daughter figure linked to this, or was the name also passed down from this person? Do you know in any capacity?
Kind of. Wow,
that's
tough.
what I'm picking up on. So that does make sense to you in some regard.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And that say the name again. Sorry,
Lilla.
Lilla.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that linked to a grandmother figure?
Yes.
Okay. And is there also a Margie linked to her as well? Do you know, or Margaret person?
Margin Lil.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Okay, so I pick up on that as well. So you may have to look into that Margie person,
Sure.
but I do
Yeah.
pick up on that. They want me to talk about a girl for some reason, like a daughter, baby girl, something along those lines. So where does that? Do you have a daughter right now?
No.
Okay. Was someone talking about this recently, or
Having a daughter?
like a grandchild, daughter, or something along those lines?
No, but it connects to something that you said a moment ago. So
Okay, so here's the deal. So for me, I am basically just the channel bringing through these pieces of the puzzle.
Right.
I don't, as the outsider looking in, I don't know what they mean. So that's why I say, how does that connect to you? What does that mean to you? So how does the granddaughter figure connect to the Lily person?
Because
that her middle name or something?
Yeah, it's part of the middle name. Yeah.
Okay. So if I were to talk about like gratitude for bringing that name down, would that make any sense to you?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. Well, this is how this works, and as I keep talking, it'll it can grow. But
well, Will sucks. tell us when Kevin's gonna die, or tell me about my demons or something.
Okay.
There's got to be a bunch of fucking weird people hovering around me, going, "Tell him to fucking suck me off."
And I will. After
where did he go?
I'll tell you all the the points that are in there.
Yeah.
I'll explain it to you. Yeah.
So it does connect with you, though, correct? The things that I've been saying,
Sure,
for the most part, make sense.
Except
to
for
you?
Marge, you don't know who the
sure,
fuck
okay.
Marge is, though, do you?
Don't know Marge.
That's
Don't
okay.
know Marge.
That's
Well,
okay.
watch out for Marge.
And again, how this works as well is that, like I was talking about earlier, is that spirits can kind of cut each other off as well. So one of you could have a Marge as well that's trying to take over, but that's sort of how that works.
I don't have a Marge.
That's okay.
And also, look, if this is a normal situation, I would be more forthcoming with information, but I just want to answer the question
No, you wouldn't.
succinctly, like I'm in court or something.
Tell anybody anything.
For these purposes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Tell you a lie. You're like this all the time. Don't lie.
Okay, I'm always in court.
Okay, one more thing as well. Do you have any connection to a CHR sounding name, like a Charlie or a Chris or something that has CHR as the first part of it?
Man, that's a tough one. None come to mind.
Do any of you have any connection to that, like a Chris, Charlie type of a name?
I do with a Charlie.
Okay, and would this be linked as a father figure to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Got him. Sorry, just getting pumped for you, Bill.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Die in a week.
Um.
Don't swim. Don't drive cars. Don't catch a plane.
Okay.
Scratch that mole.
So all I'm hearing is mention like that name and father or father figure. So is this linked to your dad's side of the family?
Yes.
Okay. Is this dad's dad? Is this dad's brother? Who is the Charlie linked to you?
Dad's dad.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And also brother.
Thank you. Okay, so that and okay. Is there any April connection? Do you know linked as a birthday anniversary?
I'm not really good with dates.
Oh, okay.
There's only like 3 family members I know their
Okay.
birthdays for.
Okay. And I don't know why, but I also just keep seeing retirement in my head as well for some reason. So there's some kind of connection. Is somebody is like dad retiring right now, or is somebody like just making an announcement about calling it quits recently or retiring?
You're talking to me.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Kevin's gonna retire. He doesn't know it yet.
Okay. Okay. So
It's gotta be hard to scan the cum tail. You gotta get through all that retarded cum.
do you know where is there any kind of liver or pancreatic cancer that runs in the family? Do you know anyone passed from like the liver cancer, the pancreatic or stomach cancer?
Bingo.
That you're aware of?
No, not much
Okay.
cancer.
Yeah, but guess what?
I know. That's what I was thinking too.
Okay.
There is now.
It's not me, but I'm supposed to talk about somebody over there that wants me to talk about having stomach issues, like when they died, something along those lines, and the fact that they were not able to eat before they passed. So that comes through clearly. So that's what I'm going to say to you right now. Now, can I ask you, because obviously, did you have any questions in your mind before I came in today? Like, were you curious about anything, or?
Not particularly.
Okay.
Do you know anybody who has stomach pains, Kevin?
Oh. It's not you, is it? Is it you?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's-
not stomach pain, muscle pains.
Okay.
In the stomach.
Yeah.
Is it like?
pain in the stomach area.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
Was it around like where the liver would be, that type of a thing? Like the left side? Is it anywhere near? Sorry, is the liver on the left side or right side? I don't know. Is it in that area?
I mean, I got muscle pains from over stressing out, like
Okay.
ab workouts.
Okay.
Like,
A
couple
so
years
again,
ago.
I'm not a doctor, so I don't know what they
It's a hell of a
are-
war story,
are
Kevin.
relating
I know.
to, but that does come in though, and then okay, so
I mean, I do have an aunt who had some cancer
Mhm.
recently that she beat.
Okay. Was it in her stomach? Do you know? Was it anywhere?
It was like intestinal colon.
Okay, so that would be stomach area.
Yeah.
Is that person anywhere connected to the Charlies? Do we know?
Yeah, it's daughter and sister.
Okay. So see so when I and there also would be another B, like as in Bill, as well connected over there. Do you know who the other B as in Bill would be as well, linked to that side of the family?
Like a living person?
I'm gonna say no.
Bill's dead.
This would be a deceased person. Do you know if there's like a Bill off of that side of the family?
No, not off the top of my head.
Okay, look into it. So that's what. So see, this is how this works, and I'm just kind of giving like an example of it at this moment.
Hey, look for dead bills, Kevin.
Yes, yeah. Well, here's the thing though. Were you curious about your family tree at all, or curious about history in the family? Was anyone talking about it at all with you, or no?
No, not particularly.
Okay. If it comes up, keep that name down. I want to talk about another father uncle figure linked off of that side of the family as well. So you might have to do some research on that. Okay, so I kind of want to go because I know I got something for you, but Will, what I said to you so far, can you please just explain to me how that connects to you?
Yeah,
Okay.
You said passing down the name and the third, and I am the third.
Right. Okay.
So the name is passed down from my grandfather. You said his son, something like that. That would be my uncle who died in a automobile accident.
Okay.
Possibly with a truck.
Okay.
At that time, that was before my birth.
Okay.
So, because he was fairly young when he died, he was responsible for his own death.
Okay.
And on the Lilla person did pass. Her name was passed down to my sister.
Okay.
It's her middle name. Yeah, there's.
Okay, so that's how this works when we channel. It's these things. I don't know who you are. I don't.
Right.
So the fact that did come through, I feel like is pretty interesting. And as a skeptic, your mind's always trying to
I'm calling bullshit on that one.
Why?
I don't know. I just feel like that was that juicy. What you just said, it could be this, it could be that. It's not on this.
Look,
Will the Third, I'll give you that.
Yes. Here are the.
But I knew you were Will the Third.
Yeah, but here are the most astounding parts of it. Are that obviously we don't know each other. He didn't know I'd be sitting in this chair. I didn't know I'd be sitting in this chair. So for him to say the third, that's pretty crazy, and the name passed down from generation to generation.
Yeah, but he said a lot of stuff, and that's just two things that he got after all the stuff that he didn't get right. I mean, that just happens sometimes, right? Like, you just don't... Because someone said that he just went off on Jude and nailed it, right? Nailed him.
And also, I just want to point out as well that there's no rules to who comes through in a reading as well, and it's my interpretation. So the fact that I did connect with his family, I find that to be always miraculous, regardless of if there's a naysayer or whatever. I find it to be miraculous.
All right. So you're arguing you're remarkable. That's fair.
No, and he did say, because
you're the more of a skeptic than I am, and you're saying that this is on something here. You think he gotcha.
I'm saying that he is correct on these items that are fairly unusual. That he also said the L name and passing down a female name, which is way less traditional than passing down a male name.
And I said middle name as well.
Yes.
So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So
he sucks with you, Kevin.
Well, I obviously knew that.
He knows that he's got his stomach cancer.
You got the Charlie. My grandpa's name was Charlie. He died around 10 years ago. My dad's half brother is Charlie. He died. I have a sister named Charlie. So
Oh my God, okay,
that got
so-
Poor
passed down
girl.
the
So
time.
Charlies are in the family then,
Yes.
obviously.
Why would
so,
you name your daughter Charlie?
That's a cool girl name.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Not back then. Maybe now it's cool, but not then.
Charlie. That's a good name.
Like Boris or something.
Boris is not a good girl's name.
It's not.
Okay, so the fact that I don't know you either, and I said that is, I mean, you couldn't just know that right off the bat, right? So
Yeah.
that's how that works. So, do you know if there's anything connected with July 4th anywhere off of your dad's side? Is there like a birthday or something like that, or?
My dad's birthday is July 3rd.
That's it. Okay, so I'm supposed to talk about the July 4th birthday, which is this is how they communicate. So this is like would be a validation. Okay, and there is also a connection with did your dad have to have his foot worked on recently or something, or a toe or something like along those lines?
I don't talk to my dad that much,
Okay, okay.
so it's entirely possible.
Okay. So
He's not telling you about his toe drama.
Yeah.
But
Fair
see,
enough.
See, this is how. So again, that again is a validation, right? How about do you ever travel like to the South, Texas, by chance, or something along those, like Texas, Florida, in that area?
Florida.
That's where you're gonna die.
No.
No? Oh.
So maybe if I can give you anything, and you already told me that you don't talk to your dad, but I just want to say to you that there's some unfinished business with that.
Mm.
With
Okay.
my dad in Florida.
Not well. I don't
And
know
his
if
toe.
it's Florida, but I know for sure that's what that is. And I also because that's why I got the July 4th connection linked to him. Okay. Is he not local to you? Is he out of the area or?
He lives in Jersey.
Yeah.
I'm sensing the show's gonna end. At BillPhillips.com. At Medium Bill Philly on Twitter. And Bill Phillips on Instagram.
And he's going to be around
Tour
in Southern
dates.
California.
Yeah. So you can go see him, and you can deal with people that are way easier to
Decide
deal
for
with than us.
yourself.
That's right.
Right?
All right,
Yeah.
don't die, everybody.
Thank you.
Eddie.